I'm David Stevenson, but as my fellow hikers do, you can just call me by my trail name, Frugal Yankee Dad. Welcome to my new series of YouTube videos on frugality. I'll bring you tips and maybe some laughs about how you can live better while spending less, and hopefully help save the planet in the bargain. It's timely. Even though the U.S. economy recovered strongly from COVID, the Conference Board says pandemic savings are dwindling, household debt is up, and growth in those god-awful buy now, pay later plans may come back to haunt us. The economy may change, but frugality is always an option. Now, my series is going to differ from normal online money-saving tips that you may get. The first few videos will give you an idea of how widely and wildly, here's a sampling. Why a simple French press is the only way to make coffee. Bet I'll get some angry comments on that one. Now, if you're considering big ticket environmental options such as solar, heat pumps, and EVs, making your first choice spending a few $100s on getting your insulation state-of-the-art through utility subsidized programs will cut your heating and cooling bills immediately and then qualify you for subsidies from both the federal and state governments and allow you to buy smaller, cheap replacement technology. How cool is that? Some of the tips, such as smart thermostats, will even be on the cutting edge of new technology. In a departure from most normal money-saving tipsters, I won't just present random tips on saving money. I will also try to extract some crucial insights from these individual examples that can help us together evolve a consistent set of principles, maybe even a philosophy of frugality. I really think that's important. Instead of approaching each new purchase or other frugality choice without a context, a philosophy of frugality will give us a set of consistent criteria to apply to new challenges. It will make it easier to make frugality an intuitive part of our decision-making and be consistent in our choices. It's going to be a challenge, complete with trade-offs and a lot of shades of gray. These insights will be labeled as call-outs. I hope this will be helpful and insightful. I also hope that you'll write me with your own ideas so I can feature your ideas as well as mine, and we can learn together how to live better with less. We'll also explore some of the subtle and not so nice sides of frugality, such as examples where frugality run amok can lead to serious problems that can complicate or even ruin your life, just as rampant spending can. As my dear departed grandmother used to say, keep your balance. Now, today's episode will be longer than future ones, so I can explain how Frugal Yankee Dad came to be and why I'm so passionate about frugality. In part, my passion's because even though I was really born in the last days of World War II, I've always considered myself a virtual child of the Depression. Back then, the mantra was use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been reluctant to spend money, and I hate getting rid of things that still have a useful life. So I think I would have felt at home during those dark days. Also, here in New England, we are legendary for our waste not, want not thrift. Ooh, that reminds me, despite my Sox cap, one point of clarification. I'm not a Yankee by birth. Believe it or not, I was actually born in Laramie, Wyoming, while my geologist father worked on a project he could never tell us about. I suspect it was prospecting for uranium for the Manhattan Project. Kaboom. I fell in love with New England on many family vacations and moved here in 1971. Like many religious converts, I'm more zealous than most about where I live and our New England values. I'll never leave New England. Plus, I'm also proud Scotsman. And if there's any validity to national stereotypes, that makes me about as thrifty as they come. Now, you might say I'm just cheap. I think there's an important difference between thrifty and cheap. Yes, if you're frugal, you check discounts and clearances. You're happy to save some money, but you also think about buying things that last and can sometimes even be passed on. I like to think that frugal people also look at the big picture and, given the global environmental crisis, consider not only what will give us the bare maximum, but will also benefit the planet as well, reducing waste. Because of that, my version of frugality means that sometimes you may spend a little bit more on something because you won't have as drastic an impact on the environment. That means looking at frugality in a different, more inclusive fashion. And if you'll forgive a little moralizing, I think that choosing to be frugal should also mean caring about the plight of those amongst us who, because they don't have a job or just a low-paying one or suffer from discrimination, have no option but to watch every penny and often go without altogether. Put another way, in my book, a frugal person should also be a compassionate person. Okay, I'll get off my high horse now. I'll be the first to admit I still have a long way to go to really be totally consistent with frugality. And I'll be quick to point out my shortcomings in future episodes. Feel free to laugh at me, not just with me. So that's it for this introduction to Frugal Yankee Dad. Check the first few tips, which I also posted today, to get an idea of what we'll cover. And please remember to subscribe and tell your friends so you'll get all of my tips on how you can live better with less and maybe save the planet. Bye for now.